Hey guys, I'm Lex from PlantLifeLex and this is my first YouTube video. Today I wanted to do a chatty repot with me. I asked you guys some questions on Instagram and you guys gave me a lot of questions. So today I'm going to go through them and I'm going to repot some plants. The first plant I want to repot is this giant pink princess philodendron. She is very tall. I haven't repotted in a couple of months now, and it's one of my last plants that's in a white pot instead of a clear pot. So I want to get with that today, and then there's a little baby in there that I might take out and propagate as well. And then the other one is this white wizard I got a few months ago. It's in a glass vessel, and I just I'm ready to get it out of this glass and move it into a drainage pot and get a moss pole on it as well. First question that somebody asked was, how long did it take you to go from making a social media and turning it into a business? It didn't take me too long. I only started my Instagram a few months ago, back in December. I started it without the intention of doing really anything with it. And then in March, I decided that I wanted to open an Etsy account. And I just wanted to sell like cuttings and small plants and stuff like that. I didn't really know what I was doing with it, but it did okay. Etsy isn't the best platform, but I think I really enjoyed the selling aspect of it. And I just really wanted to continue and do something a little bit better off of Etsy so that I could just make it more personalized to me instead of using another third-party website. So it didn't take too long. I decided to make my business in July, and I registered my LLC, and then I created a website, and here we are today. It really didn't take that long to get to where I was. I just kind of just did it. And my one advice to you in general, I know that's not part of the question, but if this is something that you want to do on social media and make it a business, I think you just have to go for it and not think about it, and that's exactly what I did. These are the roots of this pink princess. It is humongous. So I'm just gonna pot it in. This is a 6-inch pot. Just gonna pot it in here, and I'm going to use my soil mix that I always use. It is my aeroid mix. I sell it on my website, www.plantlifelex.com. And it's just a chunky aeroid mix. It has no soil in it, and it works great for my plants. It works great for them in a humid environment, so that's just what I'm gonna pot it in. The next question is, do I own succulents as well? I do have one succulent. It is, I'll put it on the screen because I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it's that little fuzzy plant that I post on my Instagram here and there, and a lot of you guys go crazy about it. It's really cute, but I'm not a succulent person. They're just not for me. I think succulents is just a different world than houseplants. And I do admire people that have succulents and cacti, and I kind of do want to get into it at some point, maybe when I move, when I have the right environment for them. The next question is, how would you get rid of mealybugs? So I've only had mealybugs like one time, and it was because I got a plant from a greenhouse and it already had mealybugs on it, and I guess I just didn't really check it that well. So I recommend you check all of your plants before you bring them home. But what I did was that I just cleaned the plant. I like ran it under water. I unpotted it out of the soil, and then I did a mixture of water and the alcohol, and I just like rubbed down all of the leaves and the stem of the plant to kill the mealybugs, and then they were pretty much gone after that. I feel that mealybugs are much easier to deal with than any other pest, just because I feel like you can see them easier than like spider mites or something. And yeah, that's all I really did was the alcohol, and then I just kept that plant isolated for a few weeks and just did like an insecticidal soap spray on it, and then they were pretty much gone. Finishing up with this guy here. And what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna need to put this guy on like a pole or something because he's so tall. But this one is pretty much done. I'm making such a mess. Normally I'm not this messy, but I'm sitting on my living room floor filming this, not in my regular location where I do all my repots outside. Next question was, when your plant is in LECA without drainage holes, how high do you keep the water reservoir? For all of my LECA plants, I try to keep the water reservoir about halfway, or about 1/3 of the vessel. The reason I do that is because most of my plants in LECA are actually crops from water, so they're already used to water. I don't really transfer too many of my plants now from soil to LECA just because it is a lot of work. But usually what I would do in that situation is cut all the soil roots off, and then I would put it in water and reroot it and then move it to LECA. But I do like to keep it about halfway just because it gives them enough water and it's an easier transition that way. So I hope that helps you with your question. Well, I'm just breaking up the soil now of the white wizard. And I'm doing this down here in like a little tub because I like to sift out all of the amendments that I have in the soil so that I can reuse it for later. I'm done with this. I'll probably go and I'll boil it and sterilize it, and then I can reuse it because I try to be as sustainable as possible with all of my mix. Here is what it's looking like. I really love this plant. It looks so pretty, but this is what it's looking like. And normally, oh my gosh, I wear gloves. I don't know why I'm not wearing gloves right now, because you guys know I always have my nails done. That's another thing about me, is that I always do my nails myself, so I always wear gloves, but for some reason today I've decided not to wear gloves. So I'm constantly wiping my hands over here, so I'm sorry about that. Well, the next question is, did you ever think you would be a plant enthusiast slash influencer? So, plant enthusiast, probably never thought that in my whole life. Like I said before, I've only been collecting plants for a couple of months, to be honest. Almost a year. But it was never something that I thought about years ago. I never expected myself to be here right now. But I'm very happy about it, and I'm really enjoying the hobby, and I really love it. So no, I never expected that, and I definitely never expected to be a plant influencer, if that's what you want to even call it. It still feels kind of weird saying like influencer, because I don't really consider myself that, but I guess you could consider me that now at this point in my journey. But I have been enjoying it. I think the plant community is great. Everyone is very nice, and I really enjoy what I do now. And I hope that one day I can make this like a full-time thing. And that's why I am starting this YouTube channel, and I made the business and made my own website, everything like that. So somebody asked, what's a reasonable price for a baby Anthurium queen today? I think price is subjective to everybody. What I might think is a reasonable price may not be reasonable to you. But I will say that I recently got a baby queen. It had about 3 leaves, and I paid about $115 for it, and I thought that was pretty reasonable. I've also sold a baby queen recently for $100, and I feel that that was very reasonable considering how nice that plant really is and what it used to be in price. It used to be very expensive, but it's a gorgeous Anthurium. It gets very, very big under the right conditions, and I think paying anything from about like $80 to $120 is a good reasonable price for a baby. I think it just depends on how many leaves there are and how it looks. Somebody asked, are you going to ever sell a prop of your Monstera albo? So probably not. My Monstera albo is really my baby, and she is just so pretty. I'm looking at her right now in the cabinet. My boyfriend James is actually gonna bring it over here. This is our favorite plant. Like hands down, like I'm sorry, this is our favorite plant, and it means so much to us, and the story behind us getting this plant was hilarious. This is the Monstera albo. It's not the world's greatest albo out there. It's not like giant size, but it means a lot to us. We got it when it was only about 2 leaves. I think it was this leaf here that's like browning and this leaf. And we got it a few months ago. I think we got it in February, and now it's about here, and it's putting its leaf out at the top here. Air layering it right now, that's why it looks really chaotic. We're going to add more cups and substrate, so I'll probably make a video about us air layering this guy as well. But I'm gonna grow it out probably for about a year and then see where it's at, and then maybe in the future I will cut it. But right now I'm a little bit too attached to this plant to cut it, so give me a year and then maybe we will cut it. So the next question was, what is your favorite plant genus? For me, my favorite plant genus is definitely philodendrons. I just think that they are easy to take care of. They prop really good. They grow quickly. They look great overall. And I just think that I have the least amount of problems with philodendrons. Clearly, I have these two here. Most of my cabinets are full of philodendrons, and then a close second would probably be anthuriums for sure. I just potted this guy up. This is what he's looking like. It's looking great. I'm going to give it a good water after this video. It's putting out a new leaf on the top. It's looking really, really good. So the last plant that I have here is this little pink princess. It was actually growing inside of the big pink princess, and this is its little roots. So I'm going to put it in its own little pot and then let it grow out. It's got a really cute pink leaf. I don't know if you can tell. Cut this one several times, and I have another big pink princess from this one in this cabinet that's putting out a lot of pink. So I'm excited to see what this little guy does as well. Okay, and then the last question I'm going to do today is, what is your top wish list plant? My top wish list plant, I guess I could say that the #1 plant that I'm really looking to get is a Monstera aurea. I know it is so expensive, but there's just something about it. I just feel like I just have to have that plant. And it's also like my boyfriend's favorite right now too. If you don't know, me and my boyfriend, we actually do this hobby together, like 100% together. So whenever we're getting a new plant, we like talk about it and we decide what our wish list plant is. So everything that we do is usually done together, and he's very supportive in this hobby. But yes, our next wish list plant is definitely an aurea. I feel like this is too big. I think it's too big for it. And I just realized that this is going to be just too big, so I'm just going to put it in this little cup instead because that makes more sense to me. So I'm just potting this guy up. Yeah, this is better. But I think besides the aurea, there's really nothing that I really want right now. I can't even really think of something that I want. Lately, I haven't really been into buying plants for myself. Also haven't really looked at any like plants like on Etsy or websites or greenhouses. I don't really look around anymore. But I do import a lot of plants, so maybe that might be my actual next import. And speaking of imports, I'm supposed to be getting an import package this week. I think today actually, but I've been having some issues with DHL, so I think today. But if I do get it this week, I do plan on doing an unboxing for the imports that I'm getting this week. So maybe you guys can stay tuned and watch me unbox those, and we can talk about imports next week. And if you have any questions, I can answer them in the next video as well. This little guy is done in this cute little cup. Cups are kind of my go-to thing. If these are too big, I like to just go with a small cup. I like to save space, and that's why I kind of use like really skinny containers or cups or anything like this. I just don't like bulky cash pots. I feel like they take up too much space, and I like to maximize my cabinets as much as I can. So that is it for today, you guys. I am finished my little repots, and thank you so much for tuning in to my first YouTube video. I appreciate you guys and the support. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell to be notified when I post my next video. And I'll have all my socials and my plant store and the link in the description below, so you can guys go check that out and shop some plants. See ya!